David Pakman responded to some of the criticisms that Sargon of Akkad, Carl Benjamin, had to him. Check out that clip here.
YouTuber Carl Benjamin, you might know him as Sargon of Akkad, he mentioned me in a video recently, and I'm not hugely surprised that he's attempting to criticize me. He's someone who referred to himself as being in Berkeley last week when speaking to Tim Pool as a representative of the left, yet he spends an inordinate amount of time chastising the left and defending conservatives, the alt-right, and Donald Trump. Carl's in the group of YouTubers that seems sort of disproportionately concerned with criticizing feminism and Black Lives Matter and political correctness. And I'm not saying I disagree with 100% of what he says about those things. In fact, I would say I probably agree with his broader views on issues like free speech and political correctness, but I'd see more value in focusing on the nuts and bolts and actual substance of public policy and economics and complicated issues. In his videos, Carl often makes broad, overarching claims, explaining his ideological positions about popular issues from a sort of bird's eye view. If you spend a bunch of time on YouTube, you're probably familiar with these types of folks. They spend lots of time discussing political labels and talking about the supposed war between classical liberals and the left, instead of actually dissecting policy and legislation or providing analyses of complex issues. He has never struck me as much of a policy wonk. It's actually an increasingly popular way of making money on YouTube and through platforms like Patreon, because there's a contingent of the population that absolutely eats this stuff up like it's being ladle-fed to them, many of whom are also people who don't know much about the meat of issues, maybe because they think it's boring, although I couldn't say for sure. So all this being said, I don't know how much audience overlap there is between my channel and Carl, so I thought it relevant to first tell you who he is, since I'll be refuting his assertions about me in this video. Anyway, open invitation to Carl to do a segment for our YouTube channel to discuss something like the tax code, energy policy, what actions should be taken to mitigate the impact of climate change, etc. So this story started when a few audience members sent me a clip several weeks ago of one of Carl's live streams. Someone asked him about whether he'd appear on my program or my channel, and Carl made a comment, and I'm sort of paraphrasing here. I wasn't willing to watch hours of live streams to find the comment, that he'd be willing to be on our show, wasn't sure if I wanted to have him on, and he sort of sarcastically said that if he were to appear on my program, we could discuss right-wing Stalinism. I moved on with my day and just kind of forgot about it altogether. Cut to a week or so ago, I again start getting tweets linking me to a video of Carl being interviewed by Tim Pool, where he was talking about how the left uses the right as a scapegoat in that interview with Tim Pool. And the specific example he gave was when David Pakman did a video about socialism and said that Stalin was right-wing. On Friday, Carl then released an entire half-hour-long video trying to do a sort of takedown, I guess, of videos I've made, where he continued to make these same claims, that I scapegoat anything bad onto the right, and also making some other claims about how he doesn't like how I talk about socialism, and again mentioning the right-wing Stalinism thing. The video is actually sort of all over the place, but these are at least some of the topics that were covered. It's about 30 minutes of Carl attempting to refute statements he says I've made across many videos over the last, I don't know, year and a half or so. Now,